Born ready. Damon, happy Monday, dude. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm not a Boy Scout, but I'm pretty much ready for anything.
That's right. Just get the Swiss Army knife out and you're good to go. So good weekend. How you doing?
Yes, I do. And I actually keep one very close.
Oh, that you're like MacGyver, and I'm showing my age. People are like, who the heck's MacGyver? So
yeah.
Anyway.
Great weekend. Ready to go for this week and ready to talk about SEO for manufacturers and helping them kickstart their SEO journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dive in. So SEO for manufacturers. Now, I just returned from the Industrial Marketing Summit in Austin, Texas, 2025, man. I'm telling, dude, you got to put it on your radar. I'd love for you to be there next year. It was the energy, the enthusiasm, the passion for manufacturing, industrial. It's hundreds of marketers, and it's just awesome. It was just absolutely, what a gift to be there. Hung out with, tons of people that have been on the show and that type of thing, and just friends of ours. And it really is just a great, great time.
That's cool.
So anybody out there, and they did announce they're having an Industrial Marketing Summit 2026. So strongly encourage you, invite you, welcome you to check out the Industrial Marketing Summit. I'll tell you, Damon, two of the biggest takeaways, I don't know, there was a ton, but just the innovation, the networking, the friendships, the bonding. It's great doing all this virtually, but man, taking it in person is just a whole different level, right?
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Yeah. So, all right, good stuff, man. That was fun. Hung out with Jeff Long, Greg Mishu, Paul Kishay, Jake Hall, Chris Lukey, Megan Zimba, just Wendy Covey, Casey, who was on the show recently. The list just goes on and on. Moby, remember Moby, the phenomenal mustache. So anyway, it's just great people. Eddie Saunders, I could go on and on. Forgive me for anybody that I left out. But two big takeaways for SEO. Obviously, the elephant in the room, AI, right? Just AI. Yep. AI is just taking it. It's changing daily, and just how that needs to be a part of your SEO strategy. And number two, video, right? It's really AI and video. Now, let's get back to the basics. From your perspective, what are some critical starting points for SEO for manufacturers?
Well, I think you really need to know, first of all, keywords, right? Right. Because if we're not really understanding our customers well enough to know what our RICs, as we call them, those ridiculously important keywords are, you're not going to know what people are using to search to find your kind of business. And that is, I think, one of the first things that people get, they really, really struggle with because they haven't thought about that.
Well, I think now Dale Bertrand, I'll tell you, what a powerhouse he gave two separate keynote speeches at the Industrial Marketing Summit. And he was just on a show a few weeks ago. And if you recall, he's an anti-keyword guy. And he said it on our show. He said it on stage. But I think there's a little twist on it. It's not that we want to ignore or neglect our keywords. What he's encouraging us to do is understand the intent of the buyer.
Yeah.
Right. Now, odds are they're still going to use a key, maybe not that keyword, a key phrase, but it's almost flipping the script and understanding the question. What are they asking? Understanding the problem, therefore. And so that's where, I know Dale loves beating up the term keyword, but I think that's where you still need to really understand that keyword or key phrase. What is your ideal buyer persona? We call them soulmates.
Yeah.
Understanding them first and foremost. And then secondly, what problem do they have and what are they typing? Right.
Yes. Yeah, it really is. It's the questions they're asking. And I think that's, I assume a lot of that, but it is a great point that it really is. What are they trying to do? And we talked about that before, is like, I don't want a drill bit. I don't want to drill. I want to make a hole, right? I need to make a hole in a piece of steel. But, we need to understand what people are trying. Their intent is. It's like, hey, if I want to have a custom fabricated metal, whatever, what am I researching to try to get to that point?
Right. Right. Yeah. No, that's a phenomenal point. And I always kid around, like when you and I do our workshops and training, I'm like, if somebody has a runny nose and they've never heard of a tissue or the word Kleenex before, what are they typing? Right.
Yep. want to stop that runny
How to
nose.
stop my runny nose, so they, I don't know what a tissue is. I don't know what a Kleenex is. So they're thinking intent. And I think that's what Dale's point is understanding that intent, because if they don't know what a tissue is, they don't know what a drill is. They just know like, hey, I need a hole back here because my wall is so boring. David, after like 5 years, you think I'd finally put a picture up there of something, How about that? How about that right there? Right? How about that right there? That. All right. So I'm gonna get a picture of my daughter. I got my picture of my daughter over there. Maybe I'll throw it over there. So anyway, I've got a picture. I've got a beautiful Christmas card picture of the Pistolka family. Maybe I might put that right up here. So.
Oh, we'll have to see.
All right. So let's dive. All right. So understanding your ideal buyer, what problem, what challenge do they have? Okay.
Yeah.
So a manufacturer out there like, hey, I'm a CNC shop. Well, is the buyer actually going to type like, hey, I need a CNC shop? Or are they typing like, I need this part that goes on this right here? Are they typing the part, the hole, like I need a hole in the wall, not thinking about a drill? Are they typing the part or the product, or are they typing CNC machining? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think
really need to understand that.
Understanding that. So really belting out. So like we have a, we have a fun little tool that we use for our clients. It's called the digital game plan. It's completely free. It's a Google sheet that we give to all of our clients. It really helps them spell out this whole process. Maybe, you know what, Damien, maybe I should pull it up. What do you think?
Well, we can. Yeah. I think because really what we're trying to do is to organize your thoughts around what types of questions you can answer for those people looking for your type of product or service that will help them get to know you, get to understand how you could help them with your product or service, and then let them determine if it is something that they want to research more or potentially hit the buy button.
Exactly right. All right. You can see my screen, right?
Yes, Ken.
Of course you can. Okay. So let's go here. I'm going to pull this down here. And all right, we're ready to rock and roll. So what we love to do with folks that we're working with, we have this wonderful tool. We've been building this with our client for years. I need to grab a drink real quick. And the thing is, each tab represents like a fun little exercise. So like we mentioned, understanding who is that ideal. I'd say like Damon at the workshop, I heard buyer persona nonstop constantly. You've got hundreds of marketers. They totally get this, understand this. If you're a new entrepreneur, or if you really haven't taken the time to understand, we have this fun exercise that we go through. And again, with ChatGPT, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, we have some really sophisticated marketing clients that are very sophisticated in marketing. Man, I tell you, they roll up their sleeves and they dive right in and they fill this out, because the more you understand the client, and we've got clients that are going to be coming on the show for the next 4 Fridays. And we'll be showing some different examples on how our clients are using the digital game plan to help strengthen and enhance their marketing strategies. But first and foremost, the more that you understand that ideal customer, that soulmate, the more you can understand their challenges and dive into that buyer, whether you want to use the word keywords or key phrases or buyer intent, you can understand what are they searching for, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that it really helps you then to understand your buyer's journey. What are they doing when? How are they, what information do they need? And it leads into what we really leverage on a lot is SEO and getting organic traffic to your site, to your stuff, your content by using video. Because, video is the use of video is proliferated so much. It's just not a nice to anymore. It's a must have, because what somebody say the other day, 60% of the people now are Gen Z or millennials, something like that are buyers, right? They're the people that are actually buying for our target in the manufacturing sector, and they are on their phone. They are on YouTube a lot. And if you can get on YouTube, if you can get on TikTok or one of these video channels with your content and really begin producing it there, there's some ground to be gained.
Dave, did you spend some time over the weekend on ChatGPT? Proliferate. Did I hear that word correct? You used the word I just had to search it because I didn't know what it meant. So
yeah,
dude, I'm impressed. You're expanding your vocabulary at your young age. So that was very impressive.
I have a word of the day that comes up or something.
Man, good for you, dude. I'm impressed. Hey, tell your mom I'm impressed. So
yeah.
All right. Here's now if you're okay. So like our ridiculously important keywords, and again, like understanding the phrase, understanding the buyer intent. Well, if you're like, hey, you know what, this is kind of new to me. Again, go to Chat GPT. Great way, and type in and say, hey, Chat, here's my website. Here's what we do. Here's our process. Can you help me out? Give me back some, like, what is my ideal buyer? What's my soulmate looking for? Now, the next thing is, next tab, we have soulmate questions. So if you're not exactly sure what your RICs might be, or like, hey, this whole keyword thing is a little bit new for me, or key phrases, start diving in and think about every question that your ideal customer is typing, okay? Or thinking, or challenge, or problem that they have. It comes, now, all these tie together, right? Because as we're building out that buyer persona, whether it's somebody in engineering, somebody in purchasing, maybe it's an entrepreneur themselves, it's whatever, when we understand them better, now we understand what their challenges. I know it's cliche, like, hey, what's the pain? What are their pain points? But that's, like, if we're not providing a solution to somebody's pain, like, we're not in business.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. We need to do that. And these questions are key. And this is really important for, first of all, we got a couple of people here. Usman stopped by to say hello.
Oh, we got comments in. Let me.
Yeah. Usman, thanks for being here. Greetings from Usman. Back at you. Pavan asked this question that I think is really relevant. How can a new manufacturer outrank industry giants using SEO? Well, I'm going to tell you, Pavan, we do this every day. We do this every day because understanding your soulmate questions, understanding your keywords, understanding the way that you can produce video content that will gain you organic traffic is a little trick that is not that hard to do when you know some of the tools.
Yeah, and I think if there's if great question, guys, thanks for joining us today. Happy Monday to you. Drop us a note. Let us know you're out there in the chat box. Two things. Dave and I have a wonderful newsletter that we've got that goes out every Thursday. If you'd like to sign up for a newsletter, keep in touch with like what guests we have come up on the live show, any jam sessions, webinars, workshops that we're putting on, any events. You keep us in the know. And we're also dropping all sorts of like free content, free information just to help you on your journey. So stop by B2Btail.com, sign up for our newsletter. We would be honored to send those out to you.
Secondly, I got to say the name of the newsletter though. It's secret sauce.
The secret sauce, right?
Yeah. Enjoy the name of our newsletter. But yeah, you can go to our LinkedIn profiles. You can find the sign up, sign up there. But we just dropped the kind of stuff that we are practicing every day with our clients and learning how to do this. And Curt, I believe you've got a little example that you wanted to show us.
Yeah, and so for Pavan, if I'm saying that correctly, for his, so like we have a client that we work with that they're in a very competitive space. Our friends that sell ground straps, and so they're just putting out just an enormous. They compete against, it's a ubiquitous item, competing against multi-billion-dollar companies. They've got, 30 employees, very small company, been around since 1985. They're 40. What is that? I can't do the math. Damon, is that 40th anniversary this year for Faulkner Electronics. And, they're coming up on a lot of their key phrases all over the place, getting great organic ranking just because they just relentlessly put out content on on their products. And Damon, let's go here and then we'll show an example. Our tagline that we love to use, you want to be, in my humble opinion, out-teach the competition. Out-teach the competition. If you could just dedicate yourself just being a fierce educator and have some fun in the process, we like to call it edutainment, if you will, right? Yeah. But if you could be a fierce educator and just putting out information that's helping your soulmate with that problem, Pavan, that is a great way to help conquer. Now, again, if you're in the if you're an OEM and you're in some, consumer space, you've got there are some different challenges, right? You're selling some like heavy duty commodities. Damon, we've had some companies that are, some entrepreneurs that are selling like home care products, healthcare products, hair products, pet products. It's a very competitive space. You've got to get creative. You've got to build community. You've got to and that's why social media and video is so mission critical, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we talked about the digital game plan, and the digital game plan, another free, just a free resource that Dave and I just give out, no expectations. If you're interested, email either one of us. We'd love to get that in your hands. We just love people using it. We're trying to better it and improve it every day. Love to get those out to you. Now, let's just use an example of a key phrase, how we've been using our LinkedIn live show to capture rankings. And let me go here.
Awesome.
And hey, how about if I go here, Damon? How's that look?
That works just fine.
Okay. So this, as if you're just catching us now in the early, as we started the show, we're talking about the Industrial Marketing Summit. It's in Austin, Texas. It's put on by our really close friends, Wendy Covey and her team at True Marketing. It's put on by Joe Sullivan and John Franco, owners of Gorilla 76. Man, I'm telling you, this is the place to be for industrial marketers. They were up 50% in attendance this year. 50%.
Nice.
And they just want to keep growing this thing. It was just so high energy. Now, if you Google Industrial Marketing Summit 2025, even if I take 2025 out, it shouldn't change it. But we take a look here and you see the organic, and how many, but I just want to show you an example of, you take a look here. And David, here's us. I'm live at the Industrial Marketing Summit doing our LinkedIn Live, right? And here it is. Here's our YouTube channel right there. Here we did a wonderful episode last Monday with Chris Harrington, our dear friend Nelson and Matthew, and then we did another one here. But even if you go up here, if you click on videos, here we're talking to Lukey, here we're talking to Moby and Casey. Here, this was last Monday. Here we're talking to those guys. Here we're live at the conference. Here's Jeff. You were traveling that day. We got Joe Sullivan right there. Here's Megan, our dear friend. And dude, I had a great conversation with Megan, man. Jeez, yeah. What a powerhouse. But here's Lukey down here.
I mean, this is all, he's asking, how can a new manufacturer outrank that? And that is consistency around those keywords that make a difference.
Yeah. And so my point is here, like, let's say if you're a small manufacturer and you're going to a conference, at this stage, this is going to last for long. At this stage, there might not many people that are really trying to get out ahead at that conference. So if you did something like this, where you jump out and you start interviewing, start reaching out to the people that are going to speak at that conference and say, hey, man, I see that, I don't want to steal the secret sauce before you actually speak at the conference. Well, what if I help promote you to my audience to entice them or encourage them to go to the conference, or if they're already going, to at least catch your session? And what does that cost you to do? Now you're aligning yourself with an influencer in your industry. You're aligning yourself with a subject matter expert, and you're producing great content. You don't need to be the smart person in the room. The speaker can be the smart person in the room. And now you can nurture that content. You've got a video. You can turn it into a blog post. You can turn it into a YouTube short. You can turn it into a social media post. And now you've made a good friend. So now when you go to that conference, you're friends with one of the speakers. So Damon, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's a way for you to really dive into some keywords with some experts and create some great content that will help your customers or potential customers and your industry.
Yeah. So, so again, how do we, so Pavan, how, I'm maybe being a little bit vague, and, if we want to geek out on specific keywords, we could go into or specific products or solutions, whatever that might look like. But again, let's do a recap, Damon. The buyer, understanding the buyer, know that buyer persona, right? Number 2, diving into what is the keyword? What is the phrase? What's the buyer intent? What's the problem, challenge that they're having? Why? What are they typing? Right. Taking it now. Where do we put that content? Putting out the content, answering those questions. I watched a video yesterday. Our teammate of ours, Jason, sent it over. Great thing that he did is when you type a phrase on Google, Google will list a bunch of questions that are around that topic. This guy says, grab all those questions and answer them. Put them into a blog post.
Yep.
And now you're answering all the questions that Google is suggesting that goes around with that question.
Yep. That's a great way to do it.
It's pay attention to what Google is now listening. Their AI is the first response. Pay attention to what's going in, start Googling a bunch of your phrases, your solutions, what your soulmate is typing, and start looking in that AI solution. What kind of content are you seeing in there? What questions? What are answers? What's information that you're putting in there? But again, how are you conquering that? Damon, do you remember Google Eats?
Yes, I do.
What did you
call it? Expertise, authority, trust,
Experience. Yeah.
Experience.
The Google bucket of love, or what'd you call it?
Yeah, the Google bucket of love is what I like to call it. I can never remember what it is, but it really is. Google wants to promote the best content, that people that have shown their expertise or experience, their authority, they've built the time, they've taken the time to build the trust, and they don't want to show someone that they don't know is going to be the real helpful for that keyword phrase. So the more content you produce around a certain topic, that it's going to really help you. So Pavan, with that, that's how you outrank industry giants, because they're going on reputation, and you can go on different digital means.
Yeah, a lot of, and there's, we could get into it a lot deeper. If there's a manufacturer who really targets local. So for example, you and I work closely. We had a powder coating manufacturer in Chicago. So like they wanted to come up locally. They're like, I can't really powder coat San Diego or Maine or Florida. We want to own Chicago. So there's a lot of strategies that you can do locally in your city, in your community. Locally, Google Business Profile is a phenomenal way to attack that. So again, there's all sorts of things you can do. It gets sometimes overwhelming, but when you strip it down and like, hey, we don't want to be everything to everybody. Let's just get really good at a handful of things. But we'll recap and we'll wind down, Damon. Know your buyer persona. Know that soulmate inside and out. Understand the questions that they're asking, and just unapologetically and relentlessly answer those questions, and just do it over and over and over and over. And you said it earlier, consistency is key. Yes.
And if you want to see how we're doing it, you can, like you said, you can go to B2Btail, reach out to Curt and I, sign up for our newsletter, The Best Kept Secret Sauce. Ask us about the digital game plan. We can get you a copy of that. And you can get on your way.
We didn't even use AI for our newsletter name, by the way. So that was us, man. That was how proud, like mom, both our moms are proud. So
yes,
all right, we'll wind down. So again, reach out to us, connect with us on LinkedIn. Love to hear what you've got going on. We have a free digital game plan. If you'd like to get your hands on that, sign up for our newsletter. We'd love to connect with you there. And if you have any other questions, Damon, any parting thoughts, words of wisdom as we close out for today?
Just know your customers and answer their questions. I mean, that's the only thing that I think we consistently do day in and day out, is try to understand the customers, our clients' customers better, and how they can answer those questions those potential customers are asking.
Yeah. Here, Damon, we'll close out with two acronyms that you and I love to use, right? KYS, HYS.
HYS. Yep.
KYS, HYS. KYS stands for Know Your Soulmate. Just know that ideal buyer persona inside and out. Number 2, HYS, help your soulmate. If you just do those two things, man, it makes life a lot easier. So, hey, Pavan's got a comment here. Pull that up. It's great getting answers from you. Giant. Hey, me, that's thanks. Mr. Curt, Mr. Damon, I really love how you explained everything in such detail. Thanks for explaining my question so well. Pavan, thank you, dude. We appreciate it. We appreciate everybody out there. If you're catching this live, thank you for joining us. You're catching this on replay. We'd love to connect with you. We wish you an amazing and incredible, a wonderful, phenomenal day, rest of your week. Damon and I are back here Friday. We have a wonderful client that we've been working with that we're going to bring on, and he's a coffee manufacturer. This guy, dude, this guy is fire. So Michael is going to be on the show with us from Hetty Coffee Cup Roasters in Illinois. And so we'll see you guys Friday. Have a great rest of your week.
See you, everyone.